Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our WNCT Now late afternoon news update. We apologize for the short delay. We were waiting for Governor Roy Cooper to wrap up his coronavirus task force media briefing before we bring you some news in between our newscasts. My name is Kelsey O'Donnell, broadcasting to you live right here from our digital studio. And today is a First Alert weather day here across eastern North Carolina. We are continuing to track the remnants of Hurricane Sally. Right now, our First Alert meteorologist and chief meteorologist, Jerry Jackson, joins us with the weather update.
First Alert weather day remains in effect for now through the first part of the day on Friday. The reason, what is left of former Hurricane Sally, the leftover circulation, is going to be traveling right on top of North Carolina tonight through early tomorrow. That means potential for heavy rain, maybe 2 to 6 inches of rain or better, depending on location. Flash flooding is going to be a possibility, and there is at least a window of opportunity for severe thunderstorms and isolated tornadoes in the mix, too. This is our Southeast Precision Cast model showing that we only increase our rainfall coverage as we head deeper into the night tonight. Even into early Friday morning, there will be potential for showers and storms, but once we head past the lunchtime hour, at least the threat for heavier rain and thunderstorms should begin to diminish, although some leftover rain showers may remain through the early evening as a final cold front settles just offshore. The tropics are still active in other locations too. Vicky is barely hanging on though and is not expected to reach the United States mainland. Also, another disturbance is being monitored near the African coast and also very near the southern end of Texas here, extending southward towards Central America. We'll see if anything develops, but that's a long way away from us. Teddy is the strongest system by far on the map. It looks like it's going to be traveling up to the north and west, probably eventually reaching Category 4 or 5 status, at least briefly. It'll be near Bermuda by early next week. We're hoping that an incoming cold front will shield us and redirect Teddy back out to sea. We'll let you know day to day if any changes need to be made to that forecast track. Track it all with our free First Alert mobile weather app. Here's your forecast. Tonight, rain and storms likely. Overnight lows in the 70s with an east wind becoming southeasterly. Coming up on Friday, storms likely, especially early in the day. Then we should see a lessening in the intensity later tomorrow evening, but it still may remain rather breezy, especially along the coast, where a small craft advisory and a high rip current risk remain in effect. In addition to a coastal flood advisory, it's that time of year where we see usually higher water levels around the high tide than we normally do otherwise, so keep that in mind. Your inland First Alert 7-day forecast, stormy for part of Friday. Saturday and Sunday look pretty nice overall. Will still be a bit breezy though, especially along the coast, but at least the sunshine will be back with us. We stay fairly comfortable into early next week with some truly fall-like temperatures and air getting set to move in. So if you're a fan of cooler weather, get set. You're going to like it.
Recovery efforts are underway following the track of Hurricane Sally. Chad Petrie joins us with an update from Dauphin Island, Alabama.
Around Dauphin Island, you can get an idea of some of the more typical damage that we're seeing, particularly at this home behind me here. You can see below this raised home where some of the homeowners were able to gather some of the storm debris and the siding really that's been ripped off of their home into a pile. What's remarkable about this is that they started working on it the day the storm passed, which is not usual for Dauphin Island. It usually takes about a day or two for the water to go down and for people to be able to get back onto the island. If we could look higher at the house itself, you can see along the side a more typical example of the average damage that we're seeing on a lot of homes here is that siding just peeled away from the side of the buildings. It doesn't look like there's structural damage to the home. That should be an easy repair. That's one example of the damage that we're seeing here. But on top of damage, we're also seeing flooding. Yesterday when we were here, the main drag along Dauphin Island flooded. But today, less flooding. But there's still roadways, side streets especially, that are flooded. This is one example just across the street from where we are. But we're not even able to access the most extreme flooding and damage on Dauphin Island so far because they have a checkpoint there up at this time, only allowing property owners in that area. One slight silver lining is that we're told by Dauphin Island's mayor is that there's less sand and flooding piled up on the west end than there was compared to when Cristobal hit earlier in the season. On Dauphin Island, I'm Chad Petrie.
In other news, East Carolina University administrators announced today that the fall commencement ceremony will be held virtually this year. The ceremony is scheduled for December 4th. Officials made the decision based on current federal and UNC system guidelines regarding the evolving pandemic. The university is working to develop a plan to recognize everyone who's graduated in 2020, possibly this upcoming May. More details will be shared with graduates as those plans are finalized. Additionally, it was announced just within the past hour that schools in North Carolina are taking a step closer to in-person learning. Following several weeks of stable COVID-19 trends, elementary schools may now enter Plan A, while middle schools may incorporate Plan B. Governor Cooper says the option for remote learning still remains in place for families who may not yet feel comfortable returning to schools. Both Plan A and Plan B moving forward is at the discretion of each individual school district. Tracking crime across the East, the Onslow County Deputy's Office is searching for information about a drive-by shooting. At approximately 4 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, someone fired at a newspaper carrier's car. The victim reported another vehicle followed her closely, then began shooting at her car. The victim's car was hit. Thankfully, there were no injuries. Deputies say the vehicle, right up here on your screen, was involved in the shooting. It is described as a later model silver 4-door sedan with very dim yellow headlights. Deputies say the vehicle at the time had 4 to 6 people inside. The incident happened in the area of 9 Mile Road and Hewitt Road, and if you or anyone knows information about the incident, please contact the Onslow County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. Also in Onslow County, detectives are trying to find out who mowed a swastika into a family's front yard. On Wednesday, deputies responded to a house on Gum Branch Road in Richlands on a property damage call. They say someone carved out a large swastika into the grass with a lawnmower. Sheriff Hans Miller has personally reached out to the owner and neighbors to ensure them that an investigation is currently being conducted. See you at WNCT for the latest updates. Now, switching gears a bit, we've got some exciting news to share. We have a brand new way for you all to access news. Specifically, political and sports-related news through podcasts. 2 different segments are now up and running on our website. They can also be accessed on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. What the Politics features digital reporters Victoria Holmes and Emily Severage right up here on your screen as they break down the latest political headlines. And WNCT 90 Your Side Sports Talk with Sports Director Brian Bailey, Nolan Knight, and I, where we will run you through some sports recaps, preview upcoming games, and feature some special guests. Again, all of this information can be found on our website at WNCT.com. That will do it for our late afternoon news update. Be sure to stick around. Excuse me, a little bit of a tongue twister there. Be sure to stick around for our late newscast coming up at 5. Thanks so much for tuning in.